everybody out there in EduTech land. My name is Megan Towns. I work for Microsoft Australia on the education team as what's called a modern workplace specialist. So basically my job is to support independent schools, Catholic dioceses and departments across Australia to help them enable the technologies from Microsoft to come to life in the hands of teachers and students and administration staff. So here today specifically to talk about the calling functionality from within Teams, because in a hybrid world where we are shifting quite often to remote work or remote learning, that voice does matter in keeping those connections as we move across our hybrid working and learning environments. Both to connect to people internally, but also externally as well. So when it comes to Microsoft Teams, for many years now, I've been talking to Teams being that hub for teaching and learning. You know, you've got the ability to send chat conversations internally with your staff and potentially your students as well, if that is enabled. You've got the ability to run those meetings and create the meeting experience with video and the like from any device. You've also got that call functionality, which is really important when it's enabled in your environment, and being able to use your Teams interface as a phone, which can do all sorts of things around, you know, really alleviating costs, providing anytime, anywhere access for calling, which is also really powerful. And then also your normal Office 365 integrations and collaborating with your colleagues via Teams. So, you know, Teams is really that hub for teamwork, brings everyone together, and because it's part of Office 365, it comes with that enterprise grade security and compliance and manageability that you expect from Microsoft product. So the calls experience in Teams is no different. It is secure and compliant, and you have control over that through your Teams admin experience. So wanted to specifically talk to that calling experience today because voices do matter. You know, we are living in a world that it can be fairly uncertain at times. Remote working, remote learning, remote teaching has brought with it a new set of challenges, a new set of opportunities as well. But we know, you know, through research that, you know, voice is so important in creating that human connection. And with Teams calling, you can help to restore those connections, both with your colleagues, with external guests that you might be bringing into the conversation, and obviously your students as well. And over the past year, we have absolutely delivered in regards to Teams functionality. And if we look at that second column, particularly in the context of this particular session, for meetings and calling, you know, this is a long list. So that's the first page. We look at the second page, meeting and calling features continue, and then it continues onto that third page. So our engineering teams have absolutely dedicated themselves to improving that meetings and calling experience from within Teams. Of course, our engineering teams are continuing to improve those other aspects of Teams as well around chat and collaboration and apps, and of course, admin and security. But you can see through that long list of feature updates and new features that we've brought to Teams calling that we are absolutely dedicated to making that experience as positive and as helpful for our customers as possible. And so with Teams calling, in today's hybrid world, you do need a calling solution that meets your needs, right? We are you know, not just due to a pandemic, but just due to the changing nature of schools and the way that some schools are now setting themselves up for success with different ways of delivering learning across multiple sites and multiple schools. Having hybrid both workspaces for teachers and non-teaching staff, as well as hybrid learning spaces, is becoming more of the norm rather than the not norm. And then, you know, the calling scenarios, you know, you need to be able to enable modern capabilities with calling through devices, but also provide legacy features that you've been used to on the older calling systems. And of course, it all needs to be cost effective and easy to manage for it to be a viable solution in your schools and universities. So with Teams, you get a complete and modern voice platform. You can integrate your calls seamlessly into your flow of work. You know, it's not unusual for me to be on the phone in a call in my car where, you know, it's all done through my, you know, car dashboard and stuff like that. I jump out of the car, I come and sit in front of my computer, and as soon as I sit down, I see that bar that says, you know, we can see that you're in a call. Would you like to join? I click on join. It transfers over, and nobody on the call is any wiser that I've just made that shift. I hear everything still perfectly, and I can seamlessly move between one device and the other while on the same call. I love that flow. It doesn't interrupt me at all, and I don't interrupt the people on the call either. Like I said before, you know, it is about delivering both modern and legacy features around, you know, call transfers and, you know, being able to have your receptionist be able to transfer those calls and, yeah, everything from the basic to the complex when it comes to those legacy features that you want to see in a calling system. And again, around budget and from an IT perspective, being able to streamline your setup and management, no matter how small or big your organization is. So let's take a look at that a little bit more deeply. You know, the integration of calls seamlessly into the flow of work, you know, it's there, it's inside your Teams interface, whether you're on the desktop, as we can see here, and accessing that calls icon on the left-hand side, or whether you're on a mobile device, be that a tablet, be that a phone. You want to be able to integrate that calling functionality really easily from within your Teams interface. And being able to start that call, whether it's from Teams, whether it's from Outlook, is a really positive experience when you're using Teams calling. The other thing is that, you know, you're collaborating on your Office apps while in the call. It's not a separate bit of software. It's all taking place in the same place in regards to workflow. You also want those, yeah, like I said, both modern and legacy voice features. So the ability to do your call recordings and live captions are obviously modern features that have come along in the past few years, and transcripts on those calls as well. But you also want, you know, the legacy features that you'd have experienced before around delegation and shared lines, group call pickups, for example. You know, all of those are important in considering a calling platform, and all of them are possible in Teams calling. When it comes to budget, if you are looking at devices for your video conferencing rooms, you've got both individual devices, but also those room devices as well that you can consider, as well as the integration into people's existing laptop and mobile devices as well. So yeah, if you're looking to invest in the hardware, fantastic. We've got a whole range of new hardware available. Otherwise, you can also be coming into people's devices as well, existing devices. That streamlined setup and management, you know, from within your Teams admin portal, there is a whole section for voice that allows you to manage your phone system. You can have different roles for managing that and looking at, you know, resolving performance issues and looking at call analytics and dashboards and the like to improve your user experience and support users from the other end. From a licensing perspective, Teams calling is very much the capability of your A5 licensing. So when you if you move to A5 licensing, or if you are already on A5 licensing, that is where you get that phone systems and audio conferencing capability. So check your licensing to know whether these features are available to you, as well as other features that you get with A5 as well. So when it comes to Teams calling, I haven't got the absolute latest and greatest statistics on this, but you know, Teams is being used extensively. 650 million calls made in October 2020. No doubt that is on the rise. When it comes to, you know, saving time, reducing costs, and improving performance, you know, research is indicating that, you know, you get 1.5 hours per week saved When using Teams calling, there can be significant cost savings. Your return on investment is outstanding, and you get that payback after you go live with Teams calling as well. So check out the Forrester Total Economic Impact Study for Teams calling. And we also see Teams leading in one of the Gartner Magic Quadrants for calling, right up there in the top right, where everyone wants to be in those Magic Quadrants. So you can access that report with the link on screen as well. So we're doing a lot with calling. We have continued to improve the features and updates over the past year and beyond that as well. We'll continue to do that in the future, and we continue to lead the field when it comes to Teams calling. And we can't do that without the help of our partners. So if you are interested in setting up Teams calling, you can do that through any of these suggested partners on screen. They can provide a range of different solutions. So feel free to reach out to them. I'll pop them up at the end as well. But they are our recommended partners in Australia, particularly in context of education. So let's have a look at it in reality. I'm going to play a couple of videos just to really get that sense of, what does this look like from your user end, but also from your administration end. So this is Teams calling and staying productive.
Calling features are fully integrated with Microsoft Teams, making it easy to stay productive. Starting an audio or video call from a chat can be done with just a single click. And using robust collaboration tools like integrated chat, screen and application sharing, and shared content control, you can work together with your team in real time, all without ever leaving the Teams app. Teams makes it easy to stay organized and productive, no matter where you or your team members are located. Other features like adding additional participants to the call or turning on your video are only a few clicks away. Working and collaborating in the modern workplace has never been so easy with Microsoft Teams. Using Microsoft Teams calling on the go is easy. The Teams mobile app has many of the same robust features included in the desktop app, including access to contacts, call history, and voicemail. With a compatible calling plan, you can make and receive calls using Microsoft Teams from any number in the world. And adding additional participants to a call is simple. Tap the participant's icon to search for a contact, or simply enter a phone number. With Microsoft Teams on mobile, you can be productive anywhere. Start calls faster and always get clear audio with Microsoft Teams calling, backed by Microsoft 365. With Microsoft Teams calling, managing your calling feature is easy. Things like sharing your calls with a delegate can be done right within your Teams app. Adding a delegate will allow them to receive and make calls on your behalf, so you never miss an important communication. Managing call forwarding is just as simple. You can choose to forward calls to voicemail, your delegates, a call group, or any phone number like your cell phone. Microsoft Teams calling also includes robust voicemail features like speech-to-text transcription, and you can easily manage your calls and contacts right within your voicemail pane. Managing your phone system is like managing any other part of Teams. Using Microsoft 365 calling plans, tasks like acquiring new phone numbers for your office locations can be done in minutes with only a few simple clicks, and local numbers are available in countries and cities across the globe. No longer will phone system administrators have to learn the complexity and nuances of managing legacy on-premises phone system hardware and software. With Microsoft Teams, calling IT admins can manage all of your Office 365 calling features right from the familiar Teams Admin Center. And once you've acquired new local numbers, assigning them to users is easy. Simply choose one of your available numbers, assign it to a licensed user, associate the number with an emergency location, and you're done. Microsoft Teams calling makes managing all of your voice needs simple.
So whether you are a end user of Teams calling, whether you are a decision maker within your education institution, or whether you are an administrator, an IT administrator within that space, hopefully those videos gave you a good sense of what the user experience is like, both as a teacher or a student or an administrator within a school or university environment, as well as what you might see from an IT perspective as well in managing that. Just a few short videos to give you that sense of what it looks like. So yeah, I guess when it comes to teamwork, you're doing that teamwork across different spaces and devices. And so considering both the individual workspaces as well as the group workspaces that you have in your environment. And remember, it's not just the confines of your school or university, it's also where are those individuals working outside of that space that you need to consider when you start to set up your Teams calling environment. And when it comes to devices, there are a range of devices that will be used. So you've got different audio and video peripherals. You've got people using both their school or university issued PCs and mobiles, or their personal PCs and mobiles, as well as the IP phones you'd find in different offices and staff rooms and the like. And then when it comes to shared devices, particularly in the university space, but more and more in the K-12 space as well, we are seeing schools and universities set up the right technology in their teaching and learning spaces, as well as their meeting spaces with, all-in-one collaboration devices like the Surface Hub, different room systems that sit on the tables, as well as different large screen displays as well. So all of those are important things to consider in your move to Teams calling. So, as you are transitioning from, work to group-based spaces, it's really important to consider how people will be moving around those spaces in your particular context. So, yeah, while it might seem complex, it is made seamless when you unify all your devices on Teams. So, yeah, the way that looks in regards to Teams calling as a platform is that you have those calling endpoints, whether it be the Teams client on people's desktops, or it be phones, whether it be devices, whether it be other peripherals. You can bring in that your own carrier and infrastructure through direct routing, or you can have calling plans provided through Microsoft. And then you've got those phone systems with all the enterprise grade voice capabilities. And if you choose to, there's deeper partner integrations as well. So, when it comes to the phone system and providing those PBX capabilities with the cloud, there's a lot on screen there. But all the features that you would expect to see in a calling system are available to you and simplified through the IT management of those particular features. So yeah, as it says under the asterisk, a complete voice solution is possible with that combination of phone system and calling plans or direct routing. So yeah, if you choose to, you can let Microsoft be your carrier. We use Telstra in Australia for that rapid provisioning and number porting, dynamic emergency calling and the like. You saw in those videos the way that can be set up and managed. There's the communication credits will ensure you've always got enough minutes for that calling capability as well. If you choose to go down the direct routing path and bring your own carrier and infrastructure over, you can directly route your dial tone to your Teams users and have the interoperability with those third-party systems as well. So that combination provides that all-up solution if you so require it. When it comes to the things that are coming soon, new and coming features, the calling management in the Teams Admin Center We're reducing the complexity and training required by deeply integrating into all those other 365 services. So again, saw that a little bit in the video, but in the Teams Admin Center, under meetings and callings, it's becoming easier and easier to manage that environment. When it comes to auto attendant and call queues, there's quite a lot of features coming, and you can be confident in the knowledge that they support a range of different legacy experiences you might have seen before. And like I said, our engineering teams are always looking to improve our features, both modern features and also legacy features as well, that you see in call systems. When it comes to the analytics, it is part of the Teams Admin Center, so it's one set of tools to really simplify your management of calling. And you can see all the information around devices, your network capability and connectivity to the calls. And it really does help you answer when, you do have a support team and a support ticket around why did a particular user have a call issue today. You can track that through the analytics to troubleshoot any of those issues. So yeah, you can easily enable those help desk agents to use that. When it comes to the call quality dashboard, it's again a part of the Teams Admin Center. And you can see that it really does help admins and network engineers optimize their network to enable that calling. So there's a whole heap of reports that can be generated. And yeah, you get those call quality metrics without having to create new reports all the time. And if you choose to, you can customize your own Power BI templates so that you can analyze your own data as well. When it comes to different calling experiences, again, mentioned before, it's all in one pane in that calls icon on the left-hand side. Feature updates coming, dialing by name or number, not just number. Looking at different call history and being able to filter those is a new feature, I think, that's landed already. And yeah, some updates around speed dial are coming, or landed already, actually, I think that one as well. And at a glance, being able to have all those important call settings, such as your device connected and forwarding status and the like available to you from within that calls experience in the client. Also looking at voice-enabled channels. So this enables teams to integrate call queues into a specific channel within Teams. You can see that let me just get my pen up, the support channel there, and the call queues up the top here. So great, particularly for bigger organizations. That will be coming soon as well. You've got captions, recording and transcripts, as I mentioned before. We are always looking to improve those, add more languages. So stay tuned for those rolling out all the time as part of the evergreen nature of Teams. The ability to transfer your calls between desktop and mobile, I mentioned, are already here, but always improving as well. I really like that experience moving between devices. It just does make for a seamless experience with Teams calling. When it comes to the policies and assigning those policies for groups of users, it's a lot easier to apply those bulk policies for things like calling and call parks and the like, and being able to do that for up to 50,000 users. So I think that's all on the feature, new and coming features. Guess I just wanted to sort of wrap things up with the Teams calling peripherals that you may or may not be aware of. Teams on peripherals across your organization are a powerful part of the Teams calling experience. You get great audio, both, great audio from those devices. They're plug and play experiences with both Windows and Mac, rich integration with Teams, and they are very reliable, and they're rigorously tested before we make them available as Teams endorsed peripherals. So if you head to office.com/Teams devices, you'll see the little pop-up on screen where you choose Australia. Make sure you choose that. That way you do get the devices available locally here in Australia through our partners. And there's a massive catalogue there of everything you need in regards to headsets, the speaker phones, desk phones, as well as room systems as well, if you're looking to go down that path or have plans to go down that path and want to get a sense of costings. Of course, we have the support documentation for you as well. If you don't want to go into docs.microsoft and search for it, the link on screen is there, aka.ms/Microsoft Cloud Voice is where you can head for all your documentation. And again, just to remind you that our recommended partners are on screen in ICOM, InSync, Logicalis, and Telstra. If you are interested in pursuing a partner connection for your Teams calling, please reach out to them and get a sense of what's possible. And that's it from me. Hopefully that session has given you an understanding of what Teams calling is, how it works from both the end user perspective, as well as a little bit around the management of it. Feel free to reach out to those two websites for the peripherals and the support documentation, as well as our partners if you want to learn more about Teams calling. I'm Megan Towns. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great EduTech.